JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, Tippy Dread found dead on handcart. A man known only as Tippy Dread of a Linstead, St. Catherine address was found dead, his body on a handcart in the Oxford Market at Peckham Street Friday. Reports are that residents stumbled upon the body, lying face down in a pool of blood on a handcart in the market, and called the police. When the police arrived, they observed what appeared to be chop wounds to the back of the neck of the deceased. The police are investigating. Man robbed and shot after dropping off female friend. A man who had gone to drop off a female friend in the Painland area of Kingston 11 was attacked and shot in the face by armed men yesterday. The man was also robbed of his licensed firearm. Reports are that after the robbery and assault, he managed to drive himself to the hospital. The gunmen were being sought to answer charges of wounding with intent and robbery with aggravation escaped. Westmoreland man charged with murder. St. Andrew man on gun-related charges. A 21-year-old Westmoreland man has been charged with murder, while a 20-year-old St. Andrew man is facing a gun-related charge following their involvement in separate incidents of violence this month. On Saturday, the Westmoreland police charged Garth Spence, also known as Brookup, of Hudson Street in the parish capital, Savlamar, with murder, following the April 14 attack on 26-year-old O'Brien Cunningham, who was commonly known as OB. Cunningham was also from Hudson Street. The allegations are that at about 11:30 p.m. on April 14, Cunningham and a female companion went to a shop in the community when he was attacked by three men, one of them Spence. Cunningham's female companion called the police, and when the cops arrived, a blood trail was seen. Cunningham was eventually found in bushes with wounds to the head. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Spence was subsequently arrested on Monday, April 19, during an operation on Hudson Street, and charged yesterday with Cunningham's murder based on a statement provided by an eyewitness. The date for his court appearance has not yet been finalized. Meanwhile, the Hunts Bay Police in St. Andrew have charged Malik Johnson, otherwise called Ralph, of Palm Grove Court, Kingston 11, in relation to an incident on Uganda Drive, Payne Avenue, on April 7. It is alleged that at about 11:30 a.m., Johnson approached the female, pulled a gun and fired a shot at her. The matter was reported to the police, and Johnson was arrested on April 9. He was charged last Saturday, April 17, following an interview. Punish errant parents. Parents forcing their children into the sex trade and car glass wiping for economic benefits are at risk of having their parental rights removed. State Minister in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Robert Morgan, is warning. Frustrated by the state of affairs he has encountered since taking office 6 months ago, Morgan said a recent audit by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, has revealed that the majority of young men tagged street children actually have homes. One of the things we notice when we take the kids off the streets and they go before the courts, the parents come and demonstrate their ability to take care, and the CPFSA says, okay, we'll work with the parents, and we start investing the infrastructure in the homes. They send back out the children a month later because they are using these kids as an economic benefit, Morgan told journalists at a quarterly virtual press briefing last Thursday. The situation forced Morgan to point out that what this did was to bring the consideration of parental rights, a question that he did not wish to answer then, but it was a question that the Jamaican society would have to answer. Do we need to look at a regime or a process where we start removing parental rights from some of these parents who consistently demonstrate behavior that puts our children in peril, he asked. Parents who continue to use their children for economic benefit. Parents who use their daughter for sexual favors. He said it's the same category or probably worse than a parent who uses their son to wipe car glass. He said it was revealed that the girls were sometimes being forced into sex, while the boys are being forced to wipe windscreens, which are the key issues being grappled by the CPFSA. It has to do with intervention at the family level as to how parents see children and what rights these children have. Are the babies ornaments the toddler's means of economic aid, and the adult pension, as traditionally we see them in some cases? Or are they human beings with rights who deserve to be protected, and we need to put in the policies, laws, and the systems to protect them? Morgan described the actions of those paying them at the stoplights as a capitalist action, even while admitting that some of them are runaways who have to fend for themselves. He added, the suggestion of providing hostels for them has been looked at, but he worries about the disadvantages that occur when their families send them to work after the authorities remove them. His comments were bolstered by Chief Executive Officer of the CPFSA, Rosalie Gage Gray, who said within months the survey identifying the pull and push factor findings will be released. According to her, the findings had been submitted to the cabinet and efforts were now being made to identify those who are on the streets. They come from a set of communities, and what we have learned is that a lot of community intervention will be necessary, along with parenting support, because once they are given funds on the streets, they are going to be coming back. It is estimated that some of the children make up to $50,000 per month, a figure that the government would probably not be able to match. GBV survivors say George Wright must resign. Survivors of gender-based violence, GBV, in Jamaica say Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Central, George Wright, should immediately relieve himself of all official representational positions. The call follows a viral video which showed a violent altercation between a man and a woman. Other advocacy groups and the private sector have since called for Wright's resignation. The group of survivors, some GBV survivors in the Eve for Life client community, also demanded that without tokenism, the government acknowledge the effect of GBV on nation building. They also demanded that the government acknowledges its signature and ratification to the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women and its obligation to take steps to prevent and, where necessary, address all forms of indiscrimination, including violence against women. We, the survivors and community of allies, register the recent decisions taken to urge the withdrawal of Westmoreland Central Member of Parliament George Wright from the Government Parliamentary Caucus, considering the unresolved allegations and being given a leave of absence without any details given to the public, a violation of Jamaica's CEDAW committal, the group said. We suggest the Parliament consider the further re-traumatization of victims and the increased and unabated physical, sexual, emotional and economic abuse of women and girls that follows the weak and undefined statements, suggestions and actions in the leadership's response. This is not acceptable, it added. Jamaica records 141 new virus cases, 1 death. Jamaica recorded 141 new cases of COVID-19 and 1 new virus-related death in the last 24 hours. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, this pushes the total number of confirmed cases to 45,145, of which 23,429 are active. Of the newly reported cases, the ministry reported that there were 76 females and 65 males with ages ranging from 2 years to 91 years. 29 of the cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 24 in St. Anne, 19 in St. Catherine, 14 in Clarendon, 13 in Manchester, 11 each in St. Elizabeth and St. Thomas, 8 in Westmoreland, 4 each in St. James and St. Mary, and 2 each in Trelawney and Portland. Meanwhile, the latest death is a 53-year-old woman from Westmoreland, whose death was previously under investigation. The country also recorded 107 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 20,626. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.